Well, thanks once again for joining TK Sport this day as we have the pleasure to be having for the first time the national team coach of the Bright Stars. 2 months ago, South Sudan Football Association contracted an Italian that none of us knew about. But when we read his CV, it's not just a CV, but a bulk of a CV. A big CV that means a lot for this country. The questions that have been asked are, will this CV be put on the pitch to deliver the results that we need? Sometimes it is good to listen from the horse's mouth other than speculating on the streets. My name is Kelly ABALE, and I'm glad to be joined by the national team coach, Stefan, Cusin, who is going to be talking to us on his ambitions, his dreams, what he thinks his team lacks, and how he's going to make the lacks in the team be fixed. Welcome, Coach Stefano, to TK Sport.
Thank you for your invitation.
Before we get into the nitty-gritties, first tell us, who is Stefano Cusin? People would want to know. Who is Stefano Cusin?
I am an Italian, 53 years old. I was a player in France, Switzerland and Italy, and I start my career with the youth team in Italy, and then I start to work in Africa for a long time, in Asia, in many clubs in the Gulf, in Europe, even in England, in Cyprus, Bulgaria. So he's a coach that he want to work, he want to do something. I want to achieve something with this country. And but I think also that football is not by words but by result and job. So who is Stefano Cusin, we will see in the future.
Well, your CV can tell. We don't need to speculate who you are and what you have done. You've been to this continent of Africa, done all the great things for the African continent. A fan of football out there watching on this camera would be wanting to ask a question. Of all countries, why South Sudan?
Because of the project. Because, in Africa it's not easy to find a serious president, it's not easy to find a serious federation. And even generally, the people in South Sudan, they are very serious. If they say something, they will do. People are on time, organized. So from the first meeting, it was something special with this country, with this president, and with these board members. So because why South Sudan? Because of the project. Is maybe one of the few federation in this moment in Africa with a real project for the development of football in the country.
Well, you signed the contract, you started the job. Tell us your perception about football in South Sudan.
First of all, in any country is different. So first of all, it's important to understand the country, the mentality, and what we have. So it was important to travel to Morocco. I saw 3 games there to understand what we have as a national team, first national team. Then I was in Awil, I was in Wao to understand also other states what they have. And now I am following the League of Juba with also this camp. So I am at work. I am trying. The country is big. The problem is that we have many leagues, not on just one. But of course, for distance, for expanse, we cannot make different. But I believe the talent is everywhere in South Sudan.
You summoned your first team, which was to take part in a friendly against Algeria in the FIFA window. Unfortunately, your team didn't travel due to circumstances beyond the reach of the federation. How did you feel that you were unable to test your first team that you summoned?
First of all, look, we must understand that I was the one that I asked to the president to make the camp, even if we are not involved in the World Cup qualification, even if we are not involved in the next African Cup in Cameroon. So it's something extra. But from the beginning, when I spoke about project, the president told me from the beginning, we will make everything to give you the right condition for building the team. So for me, maybe it's a little disappointed that we didn't play against Algeria. It's true. But it was important to make the camp, because 8 days is something important. Most of the day we make double training. It's the first time we call it some new players, and they are very nice as a man and even as a player. So I think we did a great job. The federation make everything. Unfortunately, the FIFA agent, the match, the guy is supposed to organize the match. He didn't take care about the visa, and this issue with some new players coming from USA. They must have a local passport and then to apply for the visa. They didn't manage on time in the Emirates. That's why we didn't play this game. The issue was to travel the same day of the game and then to play. I think it's not fair for the players, so it was better to don't play. But in case, I am very happy that we make the camp.
Questions were asked when you summoned this team. Some players were not in the list that you delivered to the media, but they were training with the team. And people had this feeling like, is the coach not being manipulated to include players who he does not want to be in the team? How independent are you when it comes to selecting your team without involvement of third parties?
First of all, I am the one that I made the list, and the players they was training without list. There was only one. It was Jose Kuhn, because you must know that I was watching the games and I say, who is this striker that he scored this goal? They say, he's Jose, he's here. Oh, he's here. Call him. I want him in the training. This is simple. But the other players, all the players, I chose by myself. Because if you accept to come and to building the team, you cannot leave this responsibility to someone else. Of course, I can receive advice from everywhere. Even you, as a journalist, you can tell me, coach, we have one good defender is playing now in this moment in Spain. This is the number. Maybe check on him. I will accept this advice, because I am new, and many players that play abroad, so it's important all the information. This is advice. No one players they tell me to put. I am the one to blame if we don't gonna make a result. Okay, and if we make something great, this is a teamwork. So this is not something only for me.
Well, you had an 8 days training with the Bright Stars, the senior team. Tactically, tell us what you think about our national team in the tactical aspect of the game, from the goalkeeping department to the striking department.
Generally, we have a young team, interesting team. Maybe what we miss in Morocco is maybe experience on top with players that they can make the difference, they can score the goal. And with Mashup Scholl and with William Akio, I think we bring two nice players on top. And they are young, they're gonna be maybe the future of the country, even for themselves to play in MLS or to play in Europe for sure. It will help a lot. Generally, the team is good, young, brilliant. They want to learn, they want to grow, and they tell me something important. Coach, we want to be the generation gonna make happy this country. I think this is a nice message from them.
Outside the national team, what is your take on the grassroots development of football in South Sudan, and how would you be able to help the South Sudan Football Association get grassroots development going? Because we have seen it lacking for some years now, and this is the cornerstone of great football. Nations gets to grassroots football. How are you going to help them, and what is your take on so far the grassroots development in the country?
Look, I think the first point is you cannot make 100 things well. So you must have a project in your mind, on the paper. You must and you must follow the project from the beginning until the end. So I cannot come in South Sudan and start to work with 100 projects. My mission is first of all to building the first national team and to building the Chan team. This is my mission on the contract. Then, of course, if I am in Awil or in WOW, what I did it was to organize a meeting with the coaches there, to go in the field to show exercise. It was to be at the disposal of the football here. If one academy they're gonna call me to say, "Oh, coach, can you come to see some games about our 12 years, 13, 14, 15?" I will come for sure because I enjoy and because I understand how is important that the coach of national team is present for the youth. But I cannot start a project to make courses for coaches, development for the youth, first team, second team, national team under 20. How I can manage all these things? I cannot. So first of all, it's important to work good with the two national team and to give advice, supervise generally the national team. Then, step by step, we will organize to be maybe with more people to organize something better.
Well, as we wind up this interview, we have seen you having a training with the Chan team, and someone would be asking, the Chan is probably taking place in March, that is for the qualifiers. Why the early preparation? What are you targeting that makes you have this training as early as this? And is this training going to be a routine training or it is a one-off training? How is it going to be?
First of all, I was in Awil and I asked to the local federation to make a selection about the best player they have. So I was there, they played the games with the best selection of the player in Awil. I make same in WOW for understand the level of the players there, and this is the selection of the best player in Juba. Because I read in internet that someone say, why the national team for Chan, all the players are from Juba. So I smile because it's not the national team of Chan, is in prevision of the national team of Chan, the selection of the best player in Juba. So this is important also you as a media to explain to the people the way how we are working, even because in the national team A we have some players they are from Awil or WOW, so it's mean they will be the first to be part in the camp if we will really play in Chan. My idea is to organize maybe every month and a half, 2 months, 1 week like that, to bring players, to train with them, to grow. And the question, in my opinion, is a wrong question to say why we start early in football or in sport. You never start early, and even is a quality. Is a quality to start a project early. Other federation, they just wait to have the schedule of the games and to say, okay, we will play in March the game, so on February, in the end of February, we will start to look about. This is late. This is late. We have a gap, okay? We have a gap because we are not one of the best countries in Africa. We are looking, the target is to be at least in the middle of the level in Africa. So, because we have this gap, we must work double than the others. Start early to make a camp, in January, February, March, to arrive in that game to be more ready. This is the target.
Look into that camera and tell South Sudanese what they should expect from Stefan Cusin.
They should expect, first of all, that I will give my best for sure for the country. I will give my best to achieve something, and I will try with all my energy to be more competitive. I cannot promise you nothing special. I cannot tell you I will bring you to World Cup. I cannot tell you 100% we will go to African Cup in 2023 because this is not correct and this is not serious. This is not a professional who spoke like that. The words, are free and it's very easy to talk. But what I want to tell you, I will give my best, and you will be proud of your boys for sure.
Well, thank you, Coach, for joining us on TK Sport, and we wish you all the best as we sign out. It has been a pleasure talking to Coach Stefano Cusin, the head coach of the national team, Bright Stars. As you can see, he is preparing a team that will represent South Sudan in the 2023 African Nations Championship, or you call it CHAN. The preparations have started early. As he said, in football, nothing is early. Everything needs to be done in the right way. From me to you, I remain Kelly ABALE. Thanks for watching.